Hello everyone. So today I took Mannadium to locals and I got first place. Uh, Went 3-0 undefeated at fairly small 8 people local. Um, Round one I went against Ubel and the opponent bricked both games. So that match I took quite easily. Round two I was against Millennium. Game one he went first. Uh, he shifted me, but regardless, I was through a bit of a grind game. I was able to out his board eventually and win. Well, it was not that much of a grind, but it was like a 4 turn game. Well, it's longer than the usual Mannadium game. Um, Now game two, uh, D barrier plus the trap that destroys the whole field. I forgot its name, and that sealed the deal. Um, and game three, I was just able to go first, go full combo, and win on time. Yep. Then match three, I was against Millennium once again. Yep, two Millennium gamers. Um, so first game, he shifters me. I'm going first. So I end on Cheng Ying and Imperm. Um, and actually the shifter ended up being quite lucky because uh, my opponent was holding what is it called Ultimate Slayer, and so if he didn't have shifted me, he could have just broken the whole board since I opened only Scareclaw cards in that game. But yeah, I was able to like imperm the Exodia. He negated that. It was banished due to shifter, and I went Chenging, banished the Exodia and shifter. Then turn three full combo, GG's. Um, then game two, he went first. Set up the Exodia with the trap. And so on my turn, I went main phase, imperm target Exodia, and he negated it. I went talent, steal the Exodia, and the opponent scooped. So that's how the tournament went. So let's get to the deck profile now. So first off, I'm playing 3 Mannadium Roomheart. Yeah, best boy. Need to play a 3. Next up, 3 Scareclaw Rykard. I feel like this was pretty good at 3 today. It's overall the best way to like combo through interruptions since you can like search the arrival and such. And it just makes siding easier too sometimes. Next up, we got 3 Samsara. It's the best extender in the deck. You have to play that 3. It makes hand so much easier when you draw him. Yep. And then the one row to search Roomheart or Rykard, basically. Then I got 2 Visa Starfrost. You don't need 3. There hasn't like ever been a situation where I feel like I wanted a third one. Like I guess like before Samsara came out, you wanted 3 since you always need to open a Visas, and you bricked a bit more. But regardless, 2 is a pretty good amount. You can search it very easily, and so 2 is good. Next up, 3 Mannadium Meek. You pop these, you summon more Meeks, increase their levels. It feels pretty good. You don't want to cut this at least, and playing Torrid feels kind of bad, so 3 Meek feels good for at least that's under 50 cards at least. Maybe if you're going above that, you want to add a Torrid, but that's beside the point, I guess. Then, for the field spells, I ran triple Calarium, double Reichphobia, 1 Pearl Rhino, 1 Terraforming. Yeah, I don't feel like there was anything wrong with this. I didn't get trolled once today, so I suppose the picture the tournament gave to me was kind of inaccurate. Maybe the terraforming could be dropped because then it doesn't really play that hard into draw. But then again, it adds so much consistency. And because I was like against Shifter so many times, it's good to have terraforming because like Calarium is your best card under Shifter basically because you get one meek into two meeks, and that's very good. Well, it's good either way, but especially under Shifter. Per Rhino, um, this comes up. It's basically your third piece of Starfrost, and it makes this the fourth. I would not cut it, especially in this build. It's very good because you're playing the. No, I'm playing the Revolution Synchron package, which lets you rotate field spells very easily. Actually, in one game I opened like the hand would have been a brick otherwise. I opened like Troll and Lockbird, Visa Starfrost, and Revolution Synchron. No, it wasn't Visa, it was Pearl Rhino. So I could like normal the Troll, pop it with Visas, uh, make Lightheart, add Phobia, summon Rykheart, then summon the Ancient Fairy Dragon using Revolution Synchron and full combo from there. Then I got for the spells, Double Arrival. It's good. It's not hard once per turn, so it doesn't matter if you open it. And 2 is good because even if you open one, you can search the other. You could maybe play this even at 3, but I don't know. It. Then again, it's not a starter, it's only an extender and only for Scarecrows or Visas, so it's not that good. Although it is quite a good card. Then I got one Abscission. You need this for some combos through Room Heart. It's just so good that you basically have searchable Calarium and a summon from the hand because normally if your field gets cleared, you just spread, scoop on the spot. One Imaginings, I'm on some breakers, so this feels pretty good when on breakers. You can like draw into them and such. And overall, it's a good search target when you have everything else you would want after Room Heart. So yeah, it's a good card. Didn't really come up today, but wouldn't consider cutting it for now. Although I suppose you could cut it for another Abscission. But I guess that's kind of a preference question. Like, Abscission is not that good in this build because of Revolution Synchron, and you're getting to Calarium basically always anyways. So, like, yeah, you don't need that many Abscission. Next up, of course, one reframing. The one Omni Negate we've got left after Baron is gone. So, yeah, I would say it's a mandatory main deck now. Next, for the side engine, I got 2 Revolution Synchron, 3 Tuning. This should be the other way around, like 3 Revolution Synchron, 2 Tuning, so that it wouldn't play that much into the draw. Like I suppose this one gives you the mill, which is surprisingly bad. It gets in your way around as often as it helps you. But this is such a good card, I think, because you're able to go into Ancient Fairy Dragon, search Calarium or Pearl Rhino or whatever you're missing, like, then make Crystal Wing for Nip Protection. Like, it just makes so much stuff that you want in this deck. Like, if you draw, like, basically the only hard break in this deck is usually Phobia. Like, when you draw it, like, oh no, but you draw it with Revolution Synchron, that's full combo. Like, any field spell with this basically, and you can just combo off. It's such a good engine, I think. Now, granted, it doesn't do much going second, but I'd still say it's good, so since it covers so much of the deck's weaknesses. Next up, for the non-engine, we got Triple Ash. There are a couple branded players in my local, so I decided to respect them. Respect Molt Charmies in case that would become relevant, and it's overall just a card that pretty much works in any matchup. So yeah, that's why I tried to choose non-engine that works in any matchup. Though I don't really feel like this was that good in the Millennium matchup. And especially the Imperm that I played. It's not that good in the Millennium matchup. Like the only thing it did is basically trigger Chenging for me, which is like good, I guess. Which is good, I guess. But these cards were quite mid today. Like in retrospect, I wish I was on full breakers for today, but yeah, it didn't end up mattering really. Then for the breakers, triple droplet, triple talent. Um, yeah, both came up like a couple times, one to two maybe. They're good cards. I wouldn't really cut them from Mannadium. I would always play these two, no matter what, basically. And then the one code by the grave for Brawl Shifter or something like that. Well, Shifter isn't that bad, since, like I said, I played through Shifter many times. It doesn't matter that much, but it's still a huge disadvantage to be under a shifter against a deck that like doesn't care about shifter. Next for the extra deck, Mannadium Trisukta. You just make Amritara, blah blah blah. Self-explanatory basically. Then the Ancient Fairy Dragon. So what would you do? You would do is like let's say you have like Calarium and Revolution Synchron. You go Calarium, add Room Heart, summon this and add from that, and with this you can make the AFD and pop the field and add another one. So for that purpose it's pretty good. It synergizes with this deck very well because you get to rotate your field spells, and this actually is a time win con too. It makes you gain life points, and that's actually the way I managed to win on time against the Millennium player. Although I suppose the archetype burns itself regardless. Yeah, it's good. Also, the effective special summon from hand comes up sometimes. It's just a good card. Next we got the Crystal Wing you make with the Ancient Fairy Dragon and the Revolution Synchron counter sneak. Overall, just a very solid card. And with Revolution Synchron, it's basically free. Next, Visa's Amritara. Yeah, so it's a good card. Self-explanatory, basically search any Visa spell, pop something. Very good. Next, one Axel Synchro Stardust Dragon helps you make this pattern, especially sometimes some other level 10 synchros too, especially since in the Crystal Wing build, I would often go Crimson Dragon, target Crystal Wing, bring out this, and bring out me, can make this pattern. Yep, this pattern. And for the last level 8, I was on Dragite. This didn't come up once today, since there weren't really times I got to resolve my combo all the way through, and like the one time I did, it was like with Parallel Rhino plus Revolution Synchro, so I wasn't able to end on this, but regardless, it was a good combo, but yeah, didn't really come up. Maybe we'll consider cutting it for like Chaos Angel or something, but on the other hand, it does make the boards much stronger. Kind of depends on whether to expect hand traps or breakers or such. Next, this pattern. You make this. There are many ways in this deck to make it, and you just summon something back that you banish for Astral Out. Very good. Cheng Ying. For this build specifically, since I'm on the Dragite, I don't really have space for 2 other level 10s, so I had to decide on one, and I thought that Cheng Ying would be pretty good because it banishes, like, it's both offensive and kind of defensive. Well, the offensive part is the most important. Like Chaos Angel, you just make and it just sits on the board, but Cheng Ying actually does something there, so that's why I picked Cheng Ying. Then one Crimson Dragon makes this pattern or Axel, or sometimes even Crystal Wing. That's possible, but it's a rare situation. Next, for the others, double Light Heart, don't play one. It's gonna get impermed. It's gonna suck. You can search a follow up through this. Double light heart is the way to go always. One cross sheep to summon something from grave when you summon the Astrolabe to its arrow to make synchro plays or link plays. 1 SP, it's basically free. It's just so good for what it is. And 2 Astrolabe. You can make 2 of these during your combo. You can just basically jump scare your opponent with this, summon it out of nowhere. It's really good. Play at least 2, maybe even 3. Maybe even 3 for this, but probably 2 is the way to go because then your extra deck starts to get way too tight, especially for this build. Then for the side deck, as I said, I was expecting some branded players, so I was on 3 Bestials. Didn't come up once today. In theory, these would be nice under shifter, but never really ended up siding them because they actually did nothing against Millennium. Yeah, they're just good cards, I guess. Not much to say about them. Next was on Trade Roll and Trinibiru. Basically because these were just cards I could side against some decks if I felt like it was worth it. And because cross out, I would always, when going first, side out 1 copy of both of these for cross out targets. I considered siding either Shifter for cross out target or Scareclaw Twinsaw for when I get shifted, but it didn't really end up mattering. I kinda tried to calculate the odds of that coming up, and I figured out it was too low of a probability to actually end up in a situation where those cards would be useful. So yep, I did the correct call there and just played these instead. Then 3 Evenly. Overall, just a very good card. Multiple times against Exodia, I tried to first activate a field spell to bait the negate and then go this, but it never ended up paying up. So usually I would just end up with this stuck in my hand. So yep, those are the 3 last cards in this side. So this was my first place locals Mannadium deck list. And please comment down below your thoughts on the list. Oh yeah, here are the Nibiru tokens.